This news update is brought to you by
This is the Noon Barbados Today Update, the weekend edition. It's Friday, September 19th, 2014. I'm Carol Williams. Thanks for joining us. We begin with some tragic news on this wet, rainy day. A St. James family is at this hour trying to come to grips with the death of one of their own. Police report that 51-year-old Clement Alexander of West Terrace Gardens is now the 12th person to die on the nation's roads after being involved in an accident just after 8 this morning. Ryan Jilks has the details.
The roads have since reopened, but earlier today, the traffic along Pine Road, Belleville, had to be diverted. Police were carrying out their investigations into the death of 51-year-old Alexander, who was riding along the road at Pine Road when he was struck by a Toyota Jeep. That was driven by Marlene Gemanta of Vultures and St. Thomas at the road's junction with 5th Avenue in Belleville. He was pronounced dead at the scene. He was identified by members of his family. Shortly after 11, his body was removed by personnel from Tucson's funeral home, and the roads reopened. Police are still conducting their investigations. Ryan Jones for Barbados Today.
Meantime, a man in his 20s is fighting for his life at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital. The man, whose identity is being withheld, was shot multiple times about the body on Happy Court Road, Bankhall, St. Michael, at around 3 this morning. Police Public Relations Officer Inspector David Welch tells Barbados Today the man underwent surgery this morning. Investigations are continuing. In other news now, Guyanese police are investigating a robbery of a Barbadian national who works at the CARICOM Secretariat in Georgetown. Police are yet to disclose her name, but the woman was held up by gunmen who stole her possessions.
There are reports that the Bajan national joined a taxi at the Chelijagan International Airport en route to her destination in the city. Police sources told this newscast that when the woman reached her destination, disembarked, and they were in the process of removing her suitcases, she and the taxi driver were held up at gunpoint. This newscast understands that all of the woman's important documents were taken during the robbery. The men then took away the keys from the driver and drove away with his vehicle.
And now this weather bulletin. A flood warning is currently in effect for Barbados, and heavy rains which have been affecting the island over the past 24 hours will continue to persist. A number of communities experienced some heavy flooding, which in some cases brought traffic to a standstill. Meteorologist David Best says the conditions will continue for the next 3 to 6 hours.
Cloudy to overcast skies, moderate to heavy showers and thunderstorms which are currently affecting the island are associated with the interaction of a tropical wave and a trough system. This activity is expected to persist for at least another 3 to 6 hours. There are already reports of some flash flooding across sections of the island. Thus, residents in low-lying and flood-prone areas should continue to be on the alert.
Our teams are out and about and took some pictures of the flooding from 6 Road St. Philip to Baxter's Road in Bridgetown.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Hi, I'm Red Plastic Bag. Anyone who knows me knows I don't like cold. Sunshine reigns in my country. I love it.
Catch the sun power.
To the region now, 2 Caribbean countries are denying cases of Ebola. In the Bahamas, Health Minister Perry Gomez describes as bogus a report that the country has recorded its first case following the death of a European national. Gomez says the 34-year-old white male from Ukraine was working on a freighter which was en route from New Orleans to Congo, Africa. Similarly, in Trinidad and Tobago, health authorities are clearing the air on a national who was showing symptoms of fever, pain and fatigue. The man who traveled from Equatorial Guinea through Nigeria's Abuja airport has been isolated and is only tested positive for malaria. Internationally, the United Kingdom will stay united. Voters in Scotland resoundingly rejected independence in a historic referendum yesterday that shook the country to its core. 55% voted against the move, while 45% said yes. The results prevented a rupture of a 307-year union with England. Despite the no vote, changes are coming. Authorities have promised additional powers for each of the 4 nations in the UK. And on that note, we come to the end of our noon Barbados Today update. We'll be back again at 6 p.m. Until then, remember to log on to www.barbadostoday.bb, subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or better yet, like us on Facebook. You can also catch us on Izumi Media in bus terminals or screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you for the latest news and sports. I'm Carol Williams. Do be careful out there and have a good day.
This news update is brought to you by